Hey, you guys subscribe to me, man. You're just as useless as me. We're in this together, man. Don't worry. Had a weird night tonight. Uncle Jamie rang me, forced my dad basically to come round. Me and my dad's had a conversation, asking me where I'm going in direction. I mean, my direction's downfall of society, mate. That's it. Mine's to make society take accountability for its one's actions. That's my plan. I was made to take accountability all my life on everything and anything I've ever done. Right, we did all this side though. So we got over here to do, but it's like this whole sort of area though. So, yeah. Basically, I just told my dad everything I've been telling him in channel, really, to be honest. And how much shit I've been through. And then he tried to empathize and sympathize with me. It's like, cheers, Paige. Like, Dad, you don't know where I've been, what I've done, how I've tried to survive. You don't know the deeps and darks of fucking areas I have had to travel with inside my mind to try and find some sort of reason to live. You don't know or understand. Like, I am done with society. I am done with this bullshit. So, like my dad. My dad's been waiting for an operation on his hip ever since I was a child, yeah? Ever since I was a child, my dad has been waiting for an operation on his hip. He's gone and got an operation on his hip, and now they've chucked him straight back into work. Like, what? So you're telling me, Father, if you didn't get the operation on the hip to make yourself better, you wouldn't have had to go to work? They don't even know if it's done anything. Like, this could be more negative than positive. And in hindsight, I haven't watched my dad develop over the years because we fell out for a very long time. And we still fell out. Like I said to him, he's like, you can heal. I was like, no, this is what people don't understand. You don't heal wounds. You clean them up to give it time to rebuild. Alright? You don't heal wounds. Because when you say heal, everyone just expects it to be done itself. Like magic's going to happen. No. What you don't understand is the reason why you can't heal wounds as easy as you say is because if you just go out there, okay, and go and cut yourself, and you don't clean that wound, yeah, how's that going to rebuild properly? How's that not going to get infections and bacteria and, you know, stuff like this? So you can't just heal. You need to clean the wound that's been created to give it a better chance to rebuild, right? Because the problem is people use heal. They don't use it as in, they don't spell it with an A. They mean to obey. Right? That's what they mean by that. So as long as you obey them, you've obviously healed. And that's how people see that process. Oh, he's not being outspoken. Oh, he's not doing this. Oh, he's not doing... But none of that never changed. They just suppress it until it gets built into pent-up rage. Like, and then when that pent-up rage explodes, everyone cares. But yet that person would have been suffering through that for years. So like trying to tell my dad tonight that I relive, since I was 19, I relive that experience every night, Father. And because I'm Asperger's, I also have a video recorder of that night over and over again. I didn't even tell my partner that I was reliving that experience every night because I didn't want her to worry due to what we've both just been through. So as the male, I tried to suppress it. I tried to brush it off, and I tried to stay strong. And eventually, I broke and broke down. And I am sick of hiding it, to be honest. I really am. It's more just to keep hiding it and making everyone else feel better around me while I feel like shit. So, do you know what? It doesn't even matter whether I talk about it or not. I still feel like shit. I just feel a little bit better, so I'd rather be more expressive. And if people don't like what I say, well, unfortunately, it's free country. You've got free will. It's not my fault if you don't know how to follow your own intuitions, mate. If I don't like something, I don't follow it. Okay? If I don't believe in something, I won't go along with it. Okay? Whatsoever. And nor will I give a shit about like your feelings and all this crap. Like, I'm supposed to care about a man identifying about a woman and accept his feelings, but people can't accept my depression. And we wonder what's wrong with society. We've got government funding to help these people. And no offence, government, but if you'd have focused on men's depression and mental health at the beginning, I don't think we'd be chopping our dicks off in the first place. It's probably due to the fact that we've felt unwanted love over our goddamn lifespans that have probably looked at a woman and gone, they get a lot of attention easy. Maybe that's the love I'm looking for. And all they're going to do is probably used as a whore anyway by every bloke they ever get with because, no offence, they can't even take themselves seriously, so how the fuck are we supposed to? I mean, hopefully you do find someone within that area, but you got to think this is a straight point of view. This is a straight minder's point of view. Like, trust me, I've looked at every area of life before I decided to stay single. And everywhere I looked, I realized that humanity suffers, and it suffers badly with trauma. And that trauma can't be healed by God. This has to be healed by us. We've got to clean and rebuild again. That's what we got to do. And trust me, we're too advanced now to not. Trust me, if we live on a flat plane or a globe, we are too advanced to not be interacted or stopped by more intelligent life forms out there than oneself's. Yeah? Now, God to me is the gift of life. Yeah? Because without life, you'd have no chance of experiencing it. Would you? Yeah? Without the foundations of you being created, there would be no building and there would be no filling. Yeah? And you see, the filling of that building is all the memories that you gather, all the heartache. See about, messy house, messy mind, clean house. Yeah? My house is mostly a mess for multiple different reasons. Number one, my mind is always chaotic. That's the biggest one. It's here, there, and everywhere. So I can't focus mostly on one task. Right now I'm trying to play a game and now I'm talking random nonsense because I stream and it allows me to self-regulate what I'm going through. And this is what I do on a 9 to 10 basis. Because like I told my father that laughed at me, I get to hear the shit that comes out my mouth the same time you do. I have no inner monologue. But yet I can still form sentences better than most. I don't know the big ass words, because unfortunately I couldn't read. And unless I hear the word, I don't know the word. And if I hear the word and I don't know it, I was always smart enough to ask. You know, and due to the advancement of technology, so like if I don't understand something, I can go, Alexa, Alexa, what is the definition of platonic?
As a noun, plat is usually defined as a plot of ground.
Whatever, it's still sort of.
Defined
Alexa, shut up. You get the point, though. If she gets it right, I can find out what I want. Right. Platonic just means, you know, it's just neutral between one and others. You know, say, I don't know, say it was all sorts. For me, I can't even think of an example, to be honest. It's just basically like your drug dealer, you know. You go to your drug dealer, you ask for weed, he gives you weed, you give him money. That's a platonic relationship. You're not going any further than that, really, are you? Other than a general conversation now and again. Right, everybody's got them, right? And it's time for society to start talking about problems so we can identify problems and rectify problems instead of trying to brush problems off and ignore it and think it's going to slip away in the drains. But unfortunately, that's where it ends up in the gutters and society is left walking past it. Yeah? Even my dad, he says that he was stupid and he got imprisoned. And I says, yeah, unfortunately, Dad, I'm not going to lie. Due to you being so open and expressive about your life and your situation and what you went through, taught me where if I don't feel like I'm safe for society, I need to imprison myself before someone else does it for me. Right? And my dad used to be my warden. Yeah? So if I wasn't smart enough to take myself to my bedroom and disconnect from the situation, I'd be made to. Or I'd be disciplined, at least, not fucking put in a naughty corner. You know what I mean? For your kid to be sat there for 5 minutes on fucking Facebook, sticking middle finger up to you to everyone on the phone, thinking they're some sort of big person. They shit the bed, mate. I'm in time out, friends. Mum thinks she's fucking one up on me. Mate, we got beat as kids. And our parents got worse than what we got. Why do you think, over the years, we came up with Naughty Step? Well, actually, humanity never came up with Naughty Step. I'll tell you what actually came up with Naughty Step. It was a psychological program with a group of therapists that actually needed to increase the prison rates. So basically, what we did is we found out that if we started affecting areas of discipline at home, yeah, it would affect your area of being able to control your child. And we found out when we left a wild animal with no guidance, even if it was domesticated, it would go back to its primal instincts, which is usually one's protection. So it's going off a defense mechanism and a fear mechanism. So basically, because your child has had no discipline and structure through its life, it always responds off a fear mechanism, which is why it comes out with outrage and backlash because of the what its brain's responding off. It's responding off of fear. It's not responding off of comfort. It's not responding off of warmth and guidance, is it? No, it's responding off of fear, authority, discipline. Yeah? And you see, that's how you actually create something intelligent. Yeah? That's how you domesticate your animal. You know? You would discipline it. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to lie with a dog. 9 times out of 10, unless you catch that dog red-handed, you are wasting your time. You literally may as well pick the item up, point it at the dog, and say, well done. Right? The only thing that they're going to take upon that is your emotions. Right? So what I do with my dog, 9 times out of 10 to discipline him now that I've learnt the correct way. You've got to think. This was my first dog and I was used to my parents' discipline. I went off my parents' discipline because that's what I knew. I didn't know any better, so I needed to go off what I knew. I didn't like it. So I changed that. Right? And luckily, I realized that my dog would be very, very well behaved when it comes towards treats. Right, to the point where I can get my dog to shut the door with a treat on top of it. Now, if I tell my dog to go and shut that door, my dog looks at the top of the door and goes, "There's no treat." That's how intelligent my dog is. Right. Now, if there's a treat there, that door's shut. No treat, no go. Right. And I ain't gonna lie, there's only one person I can thank that I know that truly loves and cares about me, that also tried to use, emotional manipulation, even though I could say many horrible things that don't really mean anything or prove anything. And this is what my Uncle Jamie taught me. Uh, I wish you'd understand when I'm talking to him, I'm just expressing. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, what most people have to think back is, who were the one that were there for you all when you were struggling, eh? Like Uncle Jamie, who were the one that came across to the pub on a weekend so you weren't alone? Who were the one that came and made you smile? That was me. I did that. To the point where if I didn't come across Uncle Jamie, you'd message me to see if I wanted a can of cherry coke, to entice me across. And if I said no, you go, "Oh, but we're looking forward to a game of pool." To entice me more. To show me how much you missed my interaction and how much you generally cared about me. And you proved it again. See, my Uncle Jamie is one of the strongest men I know. The reason why, he went through my situation twice. Yeah. To the point where I had my dad trying to, thingy, and I literally went, "Dad, you see what I bear on my chest? I know what you bear on your chest, son." Exactly. And do you know how annoying it gets when people try and relate a miscarriage to a placenta or abruption? There is a difference. There is so much of a difference. I went through miscarriages when I was 14, father, that I never, ever told you about. And I also actually technically caught my dad up on a lie, but even my mum admits that they had miscarriages. I'm guessing he just forgot about it, and that could be a general mistake. You see the problem with my analyzation with every single interaction that I have? You see, when you analyze every single interaction you have, and it becomes this obsessive that you have to try and figure out everything, and everything's a jigsaw piece, and until you get every piece together, you ain't going to be satisfied because you've got a disorder that fucking allows you to obsess upon stuff. It becomes much more easier just to stay the fuck away from people, because then you have no reason to obsess about that. The difference is I'm someone that genuinely cares. I am not going to leave people in a squabble. I'm going to try and drive you out the hole I put myself. And the reason why is because, yeah, I know what it's like. The difference is I came to the terminology that I don't know any different. Society needs to go back to the old ways. The new ways and the new world order that's going to be forced upon humanity. And the problem is most of you generally think that the new world order is coming from humanity. No. My general belief, my family is coming back to this planet. And the problem is I'm expecting to get my arse spanked when they come back. But with no powers to manipulate or do or control a situation, how was I supposed to do it? That's what I'm expecting. The thing that makes me accept my life is by not thinking I'm part of humanity, that I am a different species from humanity. I am either the old blood of humanity, and I am not the new design that's been created. But, you know, when you've never had no medication all your life, it's probably why I've not been genetically altered. I've had no medication, I've had no vaccinations other than the tetanus jabs. Even to the point, when I talk to my friends that call me my friends, they're like, I feel like I'm talking to an alien because we don't think on the same wavelength. I'm on. I, I'm not part of this dimension, mate, or some shit, mate. I tell you that now, mate. I live in a different reality, and I got fucking transformed over here somehow. Because my expectations towards society is nothing like humanity's. And the reason why is people generally enjoy doing stuff. Yeah? If they generally enjoy doing stuff, let's leave them to it. Let's give them support, let's give them education, let's give them aid. Let's nurture our young. And the thing is with society, and I'm going to say this right here, right now, as a society, the whole point of society is to make life easier for our offspring. Explain to me why it's getting harder for them. If our whole human existence is to make life easier for our offspring, why is it getting harder for them? And doesn't that go to show how much of a failure that society is? If society was made to make life easier for our offspring, why is it getting harder? Wouldn't we have just stayed individual tribes and not united under one common cause? Doesn't that make more sense? Does to me. I don't know. I mean, I'm just diagnosed, Asperger's, clinically insane, too smart, too intelligent to actually be fucking medicated because I refuse to accept it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's because you smoke cannabis, that's why you're so bad. Like, yeah, but when I come off cannabis, you want me to go on more drugs than just THC, CBD, and many other different health benefits with inside cannabis. You want me to go on paracetamols, amitriptyline, DHCs, dietocodine, fucking some other tablet, some sertraline bullshit, and then I got this other tablet that you want me to take that I don't even know what it is. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I swear you just made that word up, mate. What are you fucking doing? We're doing toe by toe here. You're trying to get me to read nonsense words, mate. You know what I mean? These are all jumbled up, mate. These letters, none of them make corresponding sense, mate. If you get any other fucking word in the world to try and match these combination of letters, you ain't gonna do it. Like, none of this structure of this sentence makes sense to what I was taught to help me read English. You know this. None of it. Like, number one, xylophone, right? Isn't it exophone? Right? Because there's X at the minute. But no. Spell it as it sounds. Spell it as it sounds. Where does za come out? Shouldn't it be a z, not a f in X? I'm dyslexic, so I probably spelt that wrong anyway. It probably is a Z and not an X. Yeah. Zebra. Or zebra. That's a Z. Fuck you. That's why I hate the English language. And that is why I gave up with reading. Because, like, you know, when you suffer with Asperger's and you're used to a patterning recognition system with inside your mindset, and then you try reading English that just basically goes, oh, you like patterns, do you? Hmm? You're not going to like patterns when you're done reading us, mate. Tell you that now. You know, if you learn the whole English dictionary, you'll never like patterns again. You'll never look at a goddamn square piece of paper and think I'm going to draw checkers on it. You'll never do it. You'll hate patterns. Right. Well, and maybe that's why the English language is like that. It's to destroy creativity. Because you got to think, if you can't see patterns, you can't see quite a lot of things that help within creativity. Actually, creativity minds are patterning, able to recognize patterns majority of the time. That's why they're so creative. You know, like extreme sports, for instance, when I was doing kickflips, I realised that I couldn't lift the back end of my I couldn't lift the tail, the back end of my skateboard, which was making the trick wrong. So, due to that pattern and learning that and watching and observing, I tried to raise the back end. But then I realised that I was hitting it too hard, so it was just smashing straight into the back of my foot and not getting time for a rotation. I could never. I got the trick once how I wanted it, and then it was. I mean, you could call it a kickflip if you want, but I mean, if you're a perfectionist, it just rolled across the floor. I may as well have done a finger flip. Yeah. Right. I had to go to some deep, dark areas in my mind just to survive, mate. Like even to the point where I want to go and join my son that's not here, but he didn't get the chance to live life, and it would be a spite. Everyone tells you just to live on. For what? We don't live in that world. We don't live in a survival world. I haven't got to go out there and kill anything for food. I haven't got to go out there and defend my lands from predators. Unless they're a fucking pedo. That's the only predator I have to defend from now. You know what I mean? And luckily, I'm above age, so I'm not the fucking target. But there is kids out there that fucking are. And that's the thing about it. Society wants to complain about one thing, but not think about the other. And in the same sense, when you sat in front of intelligence, it's only going to antagonize what you believe. Right? I can do no research on any situation on you know, and I can probably know something about that. And if I don't, I'll tell you straight, I know nothing about that. I couldn't help you if I tried. But I could advise you. And I'll try and point you into the right direction. You see, when I went to the pub, there's a girl, and unfortunately she suffers with disabilities with mobility, and I think she suffers with other disabilities because she's inquisitive, and I would say she has traits of ADHD because she reminds me very much of my second cousin, Jack, who throws 1,054 questions at you in a matter of seconds, right? And these questions, they're nothing. They don't make any sense. They're just random ass questions. But she did ask me a question about World War II and this and that. And I said to her, I says, look, sweet pea, I'm not going to lie. Majority of my things I speak upon is my opinion. But there is a guy over there that lived through it that could give you facts instead of someone's opinion. You see, if I haven't lived through anything, I can only give my opinion. Yeah? But if I've lived through that, I can give you facts. I can give you verdicts. Probably show you receipts. Yeah? So I can speak upon that. And my friends that actually know me, they will hear me go, well, in my opinion, my friend, I would. You see, nobody can do that for me. Because the only opinion and the only advice everybody's got for me is to go back to the doctors and go on drugs. Yeah? You need to go through therapy and psychiatry. Don't you think I've been through that? I've been through Millbrook, I've been counselling, I've been therapy, I've been through everything. They all just want to stick me on a handful of fucking drugs. And I don't want an handful of fucking drugs. Okay? As a human species, we should not be still reliant on drugs. Something that chemically reacts with the brain to change its natural thought process. How is that healthy? How? How is that healthy? Your natural thought process is being changed and you're telling me that's healthy. Then why is it called natural? Hey, shouldn't it be called well, it actually is, mate, a dysfunctional thought process. But still, shut up and leave me with my opinion. It's not healthy. Changing something's natural flow is not healthy. Okay? If I take my dog off meat and his kibble and start giving him rabbit food, do you think that's going to be healthy for him? Say that he's always had kibble, he's always had meat, and yeah, I know it, he's going to starve himself to death. I know exactly what he's going to do. He's not going to eat that. My dog would not eat veg even if he was starving for 2 days. You know why I know that? Because there was one instance I was that curious on how much my dog wouldn't eat veg that I had a bit of bacon grease, so I dipped a bit of lettuce in, because I do that myself anyway. I'll have to char it a little bit. Right, and passed it him. He licked the bacon grease off and had no interest into the lettuce. Now, every other dog that I've done that with is just ate the lettuce. Just didn't even care. Just smelt the bacon, ate the lettuce. No, my dog licked the grease off and left the lettuce. He would not eat it. Huh. So, humanity needs to stop just chucking drugs at people. Right? We don't need drugs. We need a higher level elevation than where we are now. Drugs should be a last resort to cope with anybody, not the first the first fucking thing you do on the list. See, my brain can't think of it. I know what I'm trying to say. Well, I mean, technically, I know what I'm trying to say, but yeah. Ah, that's contradictive. That is. Code, 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 code. I know it's going to come out wrong, so I'm cancelling it. That's what I'm doing. That's where my stutter goes. Kota, okay. Now, see, okay, I can't pronounce it, mate. That's all gone. Brain does that, man. I know what I want to say, but I can't say it, and I love that my brain knows what I want to say, but it can't actually say it. It's like when you go into a room and forget what you forget, but you can't remember what you forget, but you remember that you forgot it. Right. So it's one of that shit, man. It's like, what the fuck? Right. The problem is we had technology back in the day that's more advanced than what we've got now. Right, we are supposed to be doing stuff, but I've been talking random ass nonsense, and it's just random ass shit anyway. We're just going around collecting artifacts and all. That's really all we're doing. I'm getting each and every map to 100%, but, you know, I've just been fucking gabbing for ages. Right, where is this, though? This is just over here, then. So we're going to do this area first, yeah? See, how am I supposed to get that raven? Like, how am I generally meant to hit that raven? There. Right, because I kind of thought, yeah, you could do it in the boat. And that's where humanity needs to go. The first thing that it needs to do is just take accountability. Right? And trust me, we start cleaning up everything, we'll see everything improve. Everything. You'll see your mental health in everybody get better. Alright? You'll see physical health actually get better within people. Less pollution within the world would be better. So my dad, mate, he's like, do you know what the COVID and that shit were about? I says, yeah. It was the introduction of martial law coming in, is what that was. It was to see if they could isolate everybody within inside a building. And to be honest, I liked it. But you see, you normal people, you couldn't deal with the isolation. You cried about it.
Painful growth removed from these lands, eh?
You sulked about it. You threw tantrums about it. So they uplifted the ban. You see me? I was already doing that shit since I was born. And that's my disorder. I actually like solitude more than people. And trust me, I don't convince myself that. Ask any one of my friends, actual friends. They'll tell you that I spent more time on my own than I did fucking messaging them. They were my friends, not the other way around. Yeah? They were mine, I wasn't theirs. Right, I had no problem with them. Nothing against them. There's no particular reason why I wasn't their friend. It actually became a self-defense mechanism that I continued into my adult life. And then when I took accountability for that, it allowed me to, you know, identify. And the first person I actually identified that to was Andy Reeves. He was the first mate that I actually identified that to. Because that's when I started to take notice. Spent time on my own and I started analysing and I started rectifying. Yes, it brought a lot of trauma. Brought alcoholism back and all. Not too happy about that. But I'm cutting down on that pretty quickly again. I mean, for multiple reasons. I ain't got the money. That's the biggest one. Number two, I didn't really like the person I was when I was young, drinking on alcohol, so I don't really want to start that shit again. Right. I'm not violent on alcohol, but I can be a tendon towards being a dickhead just to aggravate someone to see what they're going to do. And I don't mind dealing with a situation that's in front of me. But that's not good. Like, that's not good. That's not healthy for
Another
anyone.
control courtesy of the dwarves. The tablet spoke of a relic that could arouse the trolls. I wonder, do you think we could use such an item on that troll?
Right. That's not good for anyone. It's not good for you, it's not good for them, and it's not good for anyone that unfortunately gets involved. Because you just all end up in a shit situation through it. You really do. You all end up in a shit situation. No one wins. You all lose. You're like, yeah, well, I won the fight. You lost your job. Probably lost your missus at some point. Lost your freedom. And that's the problem, what you don't understand. You see, within the old laws, you see, you could maintain your free will, you could maintain your freedom of speech, and you can maintain your freedom of expression as long as you was never in trouble with the law. You see, once you are in trouble with the law, upon any of these reasons, violence, which is why we like alcohol, because there's a tendency of calling violence, theft, that's another one, and adultery, which is why we allow broken homes. You see, what you don't understand is when you commit them felonies, those 3 felonies, which is with the law of the land and is against the law of the land, you also lose your free will, your freedom of speech, and your freedom of expression. The reason why is you couldn't abide by the law of the land, so you can't uphold the title. Yeah. I've always remained a law of the land. Yes. I've never robbed. I have never committed adultery. I've never slept with anyone's missus that I was aware of. If I saw a wedding ring or an engagement ring, I wouldn't go near her. I'd warn the next person she got with that she's got a husband. Well, if he turned around and went, "Oh, I don't give a fuck anyway, I'm fucking it tonight," then that was down to him, mate. That's upon his free will. At the end of the day, he just might not have been aware of the situation. But once I was aware that he was aware of the situation, well, you know, free will's free will, isn't it? So. But I ain't babysitting a fucking two fully grown adults, mate, I'll tell you that now.
Impressive.
I ain't babysitting anyone. I don't mind helping people out, but don't take this sort of thing. As soon as you take this, mate, that help won't be there again. It will be removed, it will be restricted, and don't call upon help again. Simple as. Even my mate, when he made me chuckle, mate, his whinging about I didn't help him it meant we're going to paint and decorate. It's meant to be doing it for years and years. I said I'd help him. I ain't gonna lie, the intention of not helping him was to force him to get off his arse and to do it himself. And like I said, I can always count on you, Ben. So, he can, you know he can. But I'm not always there now, so he's gonna have to get used to it. Right? He didn't do it. I mean, I decorated all my property and that, look. Like, no offense to him, but, like, my issue is I prioritize too many people and forgot about myself. Yeah? To the point where, when you do that to run away from yourself and your depression and that, right? When you come back to learning to love yourself again, well, you see there's a lot you've got to go through to learn to love yourself again. Right. And none of that is an easy process. And ever since I was a child, I've never been able to actually love myself because I've always had to be concerned about my mum. I've always had to be concerned about my father. I've always had to protect my cousins. I've always had to protect my younger siblings.
I see something.
I always had to give advice and never got none in return. I'm always giving support. I was hoping my dad, after he just went through court with me, go through court with my younger brother because him and his relationship broke up. I mean, hell, mate, I may as well have lived a gypsy life. Because at least I could have stayed in one mobile home instead of moving to about 70 different ones. It's a way over exaggeration. Give me a second and I'll count them all for you. Right. So my mum's always lived in a stationary building. She's never moved. Right? She's had no reason to move. She had one kid. She had 2 bedrooms. You know what I mean? She had no reason to move. And, you know, it's kind of a nice property. Right, and there's a pub right across the road. It's even better. I don't, mate. I got lost coming home from that pub, mate. Right, it might be across the road, but trust me, that's how bad I used to drink, mate. I got lost crossing the road. I ended up near fucking Chesterfield Road in the fucking field, mate. That's where I ended up. Right, unless I went on a random ass motherfucking walk for no reason whatsoever, I got lost going home, mate. How? I don't know. I don't know. I was at that age where I didn't really question much. I just kind of dealt with it.
Sigil arrows won't work on this.
Because it was just more easier that way, I'm not gonna lie. Trying to find where I can get them to touch, so they are gonna at night, so they're gonna at night there. But that's not. What about there? So there. Right. And I think my dad realised tonight how much I genuinely remember of my childhood that he thinks I didn't. But anyway, right. So Mum's always in a stationary house. My dad first lived in a flat near Tesco. Then we moved towards a two-bed house near Foston. Then he got with Claire, my bad, and then we moved near fucking somewhere else. It was a three-bed house. I can even tell you the layouts of the buildings as well. That's pretty much how much we lived there. And then we went straight to a four-bed house that had a lovely, actually one of the best houses I've ever lived in on Aim Close, to be honest. And then when they broke down, we went to Bellamy, where fucking, well, you know, just, well, I mean, I were accepted straight away because I played football and I was good at football, so all the hard nuts around Bellamy actually liked me. You know, because I was good at football. But because I was good at football, I was accepted and I was naturally protected because of that. And also I didn't mind. And my dad wasn't the best when I was younger, to be honest.
I see something.
I never got to see any of that shit, but I know shit happened because, well, I wasn't stupid. But my dad did what he did for me and him to survive, and, you know, my younger brother. So he did what he did. He did what he could. I ain't gonna judge. You see, don't we think that's a problem in a state of a world where we've got our kids feeling like they need to be drug dealers so that they've got money to survive? Where we've got kids that are being prostitutes so that they can feed their unborn fucking child, their unborn child, so they can feed the child that they had at 14. And now they're fucking 18. Is this what we want for a society? Hey, we've got girls that are turning 16 looking forward to making OnlyFans so they can have some money. This is what we want. First, we got young kids growing up that don't even know whether they're male or female anymore. Fucking hell, they don't even know what Power Ranger... I didn't even know what Power Ranger I liked. Well, the pink one. But there was a different... But there was a different bit on that. You know what I mean? But I were a kid that was brought up with wrong is wrong and right is right. And if you can't say nothing good, don't say nothing at all. And if you can't do that, then disconnect yourself from the situation, kid. That's what I was taught. It's not worth it, and move on. There's bigger things to worry about. And I do. And the only thing that I think is I've got this anger towards a situation that I don't know how to do nothing about, and I do cry about it on my channel. Don't worry about it. I honestly do cry about it. But as an introvert, I ain't got no connections. I ain't got nothing. I am literally just one man that stands alone in any situation that I'm in. But I do not mind people standing behind me. And the problem is I can listen to other people, but nothing's going on board unless I can validate it. Now you can tell me whatever you think on your opinion about my life, and I'll sit there and listen to you. But when I tell you, now you see, that's where you find out. And that's the same with everybody. Yeah? You can sit there with your dumbass opinion about someone's life, but would you ever sit down next to them to let them tell you about it? You probably wouldn't, would you? You see, I do. Because I've been in them situations. When I see a bum on the street, if I'm rolling a cigarette and I'm walking past, I ain't got much. I'm going to ask him if he wants one. I'm even going to try and crash him a bit of backer, a couple filters, and a couple papers. Because I know what it's like to be there. Like, you know, the worst and best thing that happened to me are literally my kids. They destroyed me without even knowing, because it was never their choice, and you know what I mean? It's not even their fault. It's just because they're my kids. And when you care about something and it's not there, it is going to kill you. Some men can block this off. Some men don't give a fuck. If it weren't for my firstborn situation, it probably wouldn't have been too bad. Like, you know, if Nathan would have been alive and Kyle would have passed on, you know, because we'd have Nathan to live for. But you see, for me, Jess still had Matthew to live for. Me, I had nothing to live for after that. Other than to look after her and make sure she was safe and happy. Which, you know, I didn't really cause much happiness eventually in the long run when my own mental health started deteriorating. But I stayed as strong as I could for a while before I just gave up and couldn't be arsed, and I retaliated on her bullshit. I'm not innocent. I'm not an angel. I'm just different. That's it. I have a different way of thinking. I don't sit there and look at someone's life and think, oh, I wonder if they're gay. Am I planning on sleeping with them? Nope. Then why the fuck would you give a shit? Right? Now don't get me wrong. If a man comes across to me and they're a bit flamboyant, I'm going to ask. Yeah? And if they just want to be friends, I'm happy with that. But if they had other intentions, I'm going to inform them I'm not that way inclined, but it's nice to know that someone finds me attractive, and, you know, a win's a win. Right? And to be honest, I've had it with many a times when I've been in bars where gay men have come up to me, and people have asked me if I'm gay because I've got long hair, right? And I ain't gonna lie, the ones that ask me with the long hair situation, they get very offended and outraged due to the fact that they thought that I was a woman and then now I'm a bloke and now they're questioning their own sexuality. Yeah, they have some internalizing, probably deep wounds or something to deal with. Um, but the men that are gay, that I can't like say, oh, well, I'm sorry for thinking and that long. Like, hey, you can still get me the drink though if you want, you know. I'm gonna say no to a free drink. See how expensive shit is nowadays. But you can tell the difference with the voice and the attitude and how things are displayed. Number one, the gay man knows that I'm a fucking man, for a start. You see, the straight man that sees long hair doesn't know that I'm a man. But every woman in the bar knows that I'm a man. They're just jealous of my hair. And then I show them my figure and then they cry. You see? This is what we're looking for, aren't we? What we're looking for is just random and nonsense. Oh yeah, I forgot about thingy. We got to Bull Farm, didn't we? No, we didn't. We got to Bellamy, where I moved in. And then we went to Bull Farm, where we stayed actually quite stationary for a while, till my dad got with Wendy. Which I ain't gonna lie, they had a misfortunate and then they gave two beautiful sisters. Although, Chloe, I never had anything good about Chloe, too much of a daddy's girl, and you know when you watch daddy's girls grow up, and my dad realised basically what he's made. I even said to my dad, I says, unfortunately, mate, she's my younger sister. I am going to pick on her. Right. But the difference is you're going to look at it as a father's perspective, and I'm looking at it as the older brother's perspective. Yeah? And the thing is, like I said to him, I says, and you wondered why, because he come around, I says, Liam doing good for himself then, Dad? Yeah, he's doing fantastic. I says, and you wonder why I always used to pick on Luke to stay away from him. And I always used to say, you leave fucking Liam alone. He's the brains of the family. He's going to make something of his son. Me and you, Luke, we're deadbeats. Get used to it. And, I was right. I was right, Liam. Fucking told you. Probably didn't believe me when you were fucking young, mate. I knew, mate. I knew exactly who you were. Just let me know so that when we can get contact, so I could probably sponge money off you like the rest of the family or some shit like that. Oh, and apparently my stepmom's not drinking anymore. And if that's true, Wendy, you know, I give you a high five, good on you. Hopefully one day I can get over my fucking addiction. But at the minute, everything tells me I still need it. So, I'm just going to stay with it. Mainly because every time I've tried coming off cannabis, it's never really worked out well for me. And the problem is, I've come off cannabis way too many times to know what the withdrawal symptoms are and to identify the withdrawal symptoms. It's not the withdrawal symptoms, it's me. And the problem is with that cannabis, I'm still that fucking outraged, angry, bad-mannered child. With cannabis, I am calm, relaxed, and neutral, and could not give a fuck. Okay? Honestly, that if you want the reason why I like cannabis so much, is because of what it actually does within the mind. It basically dulls its senses, that makes it happy, and basically you just couldn't give a fuck. Hi, let's breathe in. Happened to the... Oh, yeah, I'm not in the dragon area. Nope, there's one. We are going to cheat at some point, but I thought with so many we'd find them.
What's it say, brother?
I'm going to have to move on. Me and my dad actually... Well, technically, he got his first stable home. It wasn't my first stable home. I didn't get my first stable home until I became homeless. To be honest. And when I mean homeless, I mean I was actually kind of lucky in a situation where my missus was pregnant. One of my mates actually put us up for a bit. We went on no fix about after her nan kicked us out after the situation we went through. I don't blame her nan. That's a lot of trauma, and yeah. I don't blame her.
Anything interesting, brother?
No granddad either for that. We moved into my mate Bob's, bless him. He put us up for a bit, but my ex was a scruffy bitch and he didn't want her there. No joke, my mate Bob went, no offence, but she's a fucking scruffy bitch. Like, I don't want her in my ass, bro. She just literally comes down and she what, bro? She what? Like, you don't know how much shit I put up with that bitch. I could slander her name so much if I wanted to, but I've already spent too much time doing it. And see, the thing is, you know, for me as a male, speaking out upon my ex and what she did to me, oh, that's just me being manipulative. That's me. That's my abusive area. That's this. That's that. But you know, you women, yeah. When you break up with a man, what do you lot do? Yeah, I'll tell you what a man does. He sits there on his own and he breaks down, and he probably rings his drug dealer. That's what he does. That's his best mate, his drug dealer. Someone that literally uses him for money while he uses him for drugs. Yeah? That's what he does. His hand's shaking. I need you, bro. I'm fucking on my way, mate. I'm on my way, brother. Don't you fucking worry. And you see that guy, mate? He'll be at your door in 5 minutes for the first time in his life, mate. He'll be at that door. Your door in 5 minutes, mate. They even have an extra fiver's bit for you, you know. Oh, well, I've been there, bro. I've been there. Yeah. And he'll help you. Or he'll rob you. Alright. But that's how you know the good ones and the wrong ones. Right? And you see, that's how you know the old school from the new school. Right? That's who he rings, mate. What do you women do? You put some makeup on. Yeah? You put a skimpy outfit on. You put 154 whore fucking photos on Facebook instead of OnlyFans and actually get some profit out of it. You know what I mean? Like, at least make your fucking time worth it, mate. Do you know if my whole day was to wake up and put a skimpy outfit on for some likes on a fucking photo, I'd shoot myself in the head. I think, wow, I've really grown to be a vain bastard today. Like, Jesus Christ, I may as well employ people to walk round with a mirror at every angle so I don't miss it. Right? Don't worry, like, if you're proud of it, then crack on. But this is the thing where you women really need to understand men. Yeah? Because men have tried to understand women. And how we've listened and we've gave up. And even women can't even be arsed with you because you can't even make it in a lesbian relationship. Never mind a straight one. So if women are struggling with women, how the fuck do you expect men to? Mate, I see gay relationships literally work majority of the time. Right? Don't worry, they'll have their arguments, they'll have their breakdowns and everything, and trust me, it's one of the biggest, fucking funniest things you've seen in the world. And to be honest, from a straight man's perspective, it's funny and we can't help but take the piss out of it. Because, you know, if you was born in the 90s, that's what we used to do as a kid, and that's what our parents used to do to us. That's what you've got to understand. If we act like a fanny as a young male in the 90s growing up, we would have been took the piss out of or disciplined for that and been told you are a man. We do not act like that. Same as my father tonight. We're men. We don't have feelings. I don't fucking have feelings. And they went on there. I said, hey, Dad, you know the last time I thought I was special? He went, yeah. I said, I was 5. And he says, I didn't wake up for Christmases. I didn't wake up for my birthday. When was the last time you thought I thought I was special? The day that a boy becomes a man is when he realizes he was never special in the first place. That's the day that a boy becomes a man. Because while he still thinks he's special, he'll carry this ego around that will destroy him. It will destroy him. And trust me, I know. Mate, I only had ego having me going. Well, I think. I've still got ego now, to be honest, mate, and my ego comes from... I've literally survived worse. Well, more than most. And instead of viewing that as a weakness, I should see that as a strength. And within that, I want to help others. But the problem is, if the help needs help, how is it supposed to be helping in the first place? See, I'm lost in limbo with no direction to go for such a long time, to the point where I'm in purgatory just laughing at monsters now. This is my fun. I enjoy dealing with demons. They entertain me now. Right? The demons are funny. They're like little jokes that hide in the shadow, and I'm supposed to be scared and intimidated by them. And I'm not, because they're boring. They are boring. They have no fear towards that shit anymore. And trust me, I got launched across the room when I decided to challenge Lucifer. I went too far of a distance. I still think I slipped, though. I must have slipped. I don't challenge him no more, though. I think I got more than put in my place. Still a dick, though, so you can still fuck yourself.
What's that?
Just not going to challenge him again. We had an agreement, and like I said to him, I says, at the end of the day, Satan, even you identify children as innocent. So tell me, why are they now being affected? And he agreed with me. And, also, God's the same. When them both, mate, they came to a treaty, which is no harm upon the innocent. It's humans that harm the innocent. It's not our God, and it is not our devil that interacts with free will. Okay? This is all our intrusive thoughts. It's humanity. Moth, do myself a favour, mate. Fuck off. Right? There is a goddamn motherfucking light around there. Go fly around the light and leave me alone. Fucking dust. Do moths have blood? Alexa, does a moth have blood?
Moths have blood inside their circulatory system.
Then when I splat them, they look like dust on a wall. There's no fucking blood there. I kill a fly, mate, there's blood there. I kill a moth, mate, it looks like dust. You wanna lose weight? Eat moths. You know where I get that from? Little Britain. Dust. Dust, yeah. Eat dust. A little bit of dust. And what was that, sweetheart? What do you like? Chips and fish. I don't know what she's saying. Must be some Indian curry or something. See? That was funny, mate. I enjoyed Little Britain. Right? That wasn't racist. That's just passive aggressiveness. That's what that is. It means I acknowledge you, but I choose not to. It's a demeaning thing. That's what that is. It's the lower one stat within the group. But I didn't consider that racist. That was just... That was shit we did to our friends. You know what I mean? Ben, you hear someone talking?
We missed this.
Like, fuck you. Ah, the guy. Huh? And we was. Even me and my mate Glenn. We are literally friends through being dickheads to each other. Our whole entire life since we've met each other since year 7. Right, and if I don't message him, he's not going to cry about it. Well, I hope he don't anyway. If he does, grow up. Right. But you know, if someone don't message me back, I just think they're doing something. And do you know what I do? I go straight on to doing something else. But you know, if I'm used to like routines, so like when I message my mate Mitch, I ain't gonna lie, the guy usually messages ASAP back. So my brain builds up a little bitch torrent towards that because it feels like he's ignoring me because it's used to the pattern, right? But within hindsight, he's got so much shit going on that he could be doing stuff. Number one, he could be driving to work. He could be at work. He could be driving from work. He could be spending time with his loved one and his children. And hers. But, you know, I say that separate because I don't know where... Mitch is one of them. He takes Ivy on as his own. I tell you that now. He's not one of them people. He's a good lad. Right? There's all that to take into accountability. To just go, oh, you just ignoring me. But you see, because of the pattern recognition, my brain's going to throw a bitch fit about it. Right? And that's alright. He's busy, and he'll get back to me when he can. Simple as. Or when he can be asked. And he's got ADHD, so like, you could also pick the phone up, put it down, and then just completely forget. See, I'm only able to identify this because while I'm sat there studying you, I'm studying myself within the conversation with you. Right? Number one, do I even like this person? That's the first thing I'm going to be saying. And trust me, if I don't like you, I'm really not going to be spending time to be stood there talking to you. Right? I will do the quickest interaction and I'll be on my merry fucking popping way. And trust me, right, I'm not skinny enough that I could open an umbrella and the smallest gust of wind would take me away. Right? Oh, sorry. Hang on. Someone insulted me. Oh, wait, it's self-inflicted. No mercy. Right. And that's the thing. I don't take mercy upon myself when it's self-inflicted. I don't sit there and cry. You see, when it's not self-inflicted and it's external, that kind of pisses me off. So even with my dad tonight, he was telling me all this, and I was like, Dad, you know, I went through the same shit as you, mate. Not as bad as you, because you went through serious beatings, father. I ain't gonna lie. And you've had people that have vouched for you as well, Father. Some of it I do think's a bit made up, and, you know, some of mine's also made up through the times, but mine's because I've tried to shed a bit of light and a bit of humour towards the situation instead of looking so down upon it. You know? And see, I kind of noticed, mate. Most people that mess with me don't seem to have a good life after it. And I don't do anything to intervene with that, honestly. I am not gonna lie. I am not petty enough for vengeance, right? Or revenge. Right? Because trust me, if I was petty enough, I'd have seeked it upon my ex that's worth it. Right? But you see, that'd be taking my son's mother away from him. I could never do that to him. Her I can give a fuck about, though. Could not give a fuck. And the reason why, I won't be in this predicament if she gave a fuck about me, would I? If she really gave a fuck about me and loved me, like she claimed, I would not be in this predicament, would I? That she caused. And, yeah, I had my hand to play. But what am I supposed to do? Lock her inside a house so she can't escape? That's weird. She can do as she please. You know what I mean? She left on her own free will. Although she made a scene about it for some reason. If I could have had out to say, it wouldn't have been. Nor would we have left it in a situation where our child got brought into a situation that shouldn't have been. Basically, because all she wanted to do was go with Poggy because he had a job. And a small peepee. Right. And you see, this is where people need to take accountability. Because the worst bit about it is a man will believe anything when he's in love, I ain't gonna lie. But you see, when he doesn't love you anymore, that's when he's gonna start realizing everything. You see, most people that are literally the protagonization inside the relationship watch the relationship. The person that was the abuser will 9 times out of 10 already been in about 6 relationships with a new partner. Yeah, they 9 times out of 10 that's what's happening. Yeah, bear in mind they've plastered themselves all over Facebook and probably used their fanny like a fucking DOS ass. Right? You see, men couldn't do that if we wanted to. Right, well, I don't know. We could probably use our arseholes as a DOS ass now. I don't know. I'm not really too bothered about interacting with people. As far as I'm aware, man, if a man wants that, we have to pay for it. Where a woman can literally go outside, mate, and have 100 desperate men begging for it. And she doesn't even have to be a bronze trophy. You see, the difference between a man and a woman, I'm going to tell you this right now. Unless the man's rich, yeah, you get why he needs to be rich, because we pay for it, right? No joke at all. It's the worst bit about it. Society, modern. We caused it. This is what it is. We accepted. We let idiots and spoilt brats be in charge of our world. What did you expect to happen? Did you expect leaving people that had everything given to them on a plate was going to do good for people that had nothing? There's a reason why you're starving and they're sat there with a belly full. I'll tell you that now, mate. And let's have a look back to some people's childhood. Hey, I might explain a bit more for you. Why were you sat there with an empty stomach while your parents were sat there we're full? Was it because you was well looked after, or was it down to the abuse and the neglect that you was left in that situation? Hmm? And then tell me that the government doesn't do the same to its members of public. Right? There's probably a reason, and I say this quite a lot, why it says we are all God's children in the book. It's because we never grew the fuck up. And we was never allowed. I mean, look at the shit that we teach in schools. Do we teach about a better humanity, a greater humanity, what we could be if we work together as a unity and as one? Or do we teach about war, diseases? Why are we teaching young kids this shit? Why were we taught this shit? I mean, we didn't care as kids. Like we didn't care. I would question it. Like, why am I being taught about Hitler? So you can know what the past was like. Oh, like, no offense, but if Germany's trying to forget about it, shouldn't we? You know what I mean? If they're trying to forget about it, shouldn't we? To say that, yes, it was a part of our history, but it's not something that we should fucking idolize. I get where it came from and that lot, but we should be taught what we fought for and what we gained upon that. We wasn't taught that. We was taught the agmosities. Yeah? Well, then people fought for was our freedom of expression, was our free will, and our freedom of speech. They didn't want to be under a fucking dictatorship. We wanted a democracy dressed as a dictatorship. That's what we wanted. Well, we have a dictatorship dressed as a democracy. You know, it's like a wolf in sheep clothing. Right? We didn't want that. So we rebelled against that and fought that back. Fucking hell, we lost a lot of people. I didn't live in that time, but shit the bed, mate. I would not let what they fought for go down in vain. That's stupid. That's fucking stupid. And as a society, didn't we create this to make things better for our offspring? Yeah? Why is things getting harder for our offspring? Okay? And as a society that sat here, like, we did make a society to make things easier for our offspring. Why are we playing along with this anymore? Why is back when our ancestors was bringing our ancestors up, I know, who'd have thought, right? When they was worried about the natural predators out there, wolves, bears, tigers, lions, foxes, you know what I mean? When they were worried about the natural predator, now our natural predator is a fucking pedo, right? That's our natural predator. The problem is we're going to put a nanny dog down, yeah, because it's got aggressive tendencies, yeah. Why have we got nothing to identify that they're a fucking pedo in the street? Can we have a muzzle on a pedo's face so that we can identify to keep him away from our kids because he's an endangerment? Are we allowed this? Like this should be a state law, mate. Well, not state law, but this should be a universal law, mate. That's what that should be. You know what I mean? Why is it called a protection wing? I'd call it a death row. Should take people off death row and put them in protection wing. They need the protection wing. They're on fucking death row, the poor things. I mean, I know they probably did human crimes, but I don't know what they're being judged for or all that crap. Right. Play dumb games, win dumb prizes. That's what I was always told. So I tried not to play any dumb games because I didn't want to win a dumb prize, you know. Right, it's as simple as that, really. Right. And we don't teach our kids anymore. Fucking iPad does. Although I'm liking the new generation. It's like looking at my generation, you know. They're all little fucking rebels. They fucking are, man. We've still got the rebels, but they're not rebels. They're just fucking misbehaved kids that need a good hiding, mate, to be honest, mate. That's what they are. They're just misbehaved kids that need a good fucking thrashing. Because when they receive it, they'd be in my position, mate, where you think, yeah, there's probably a consequence to that. It's called my dad's gonna kick the shit out of me when I get back. Right? And you see what my parents taught me? As long as it's out of sight and out of mind, I couldn't give a fuck. But you come back with police, you're in for a fucking high jump. So you can imagine we kept everything out of sight and out of mind. Shit, we got kids doing this shit in fucking plain sight and wondering why they're being fucking told off and put in fucking prison and getting sentences and shit like this. For a start, you're razzing around like a motherfucking dickhead in public streets, right? There was nowhere for me to go. There is, mate. It's called the woods, right? And trust me, if you're steady around those dog walkers and you notice them, they will not give a shit what you're doing within them fucking woods, mate. But you know, if you go razzing past their dog and nearly hit them, they're ringing the police, right? But now, if you pull over to the side and wait for the dog walker to walk past, yeah, they're more likely going to go, thank you for that. And you see, you've just earned a lot of respect. And now they're going to look at your bike and they're going to remember that bike. So the next time they see you, they're not going to waste the time picking the phone up. Yeah? Because you see, the older generation that you're walking past now, as kids anyway, if you're actually listening to this, is the generation that did that to us. Yeah? Our older generation, as long as we pulled our bike to the side and let the dog walker walk past, they would say thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day. And you'd say thank you very much, look after yourself and enjoy your walk. And you'd wait for them to go about 5 seconds. You'd give a little pump to see if the dog gets startled. If the dog didn't get startled, you would be on your way. But if the dog startled, you would wait or push the bike along until you was at enough distance where the dog couldn't injure itself. You see, this is what we did as kids. And this is why most of the shit. Oh, and we didn't video anything. We didn't. No, we didn't do any internet clout or any of that bull crap. It was stupid. It was video evidence. Right? It just did turn out. Right, and for a start, we all claim to be intelligent species. Right? It's time to start acting things in civil matters and solving with things in civil matters. Yeah? And it's really not that hard, really. You find out each other's problems. Well, I don't like you. Why don't you like me? Think you're a dickhead. It's not really a reason, but okay. Well, what's your problem with me? Well, the reason my problem with you is you're always outspoken. You think you know a bit more than most people. And you sit there quietly trying to judge each other without knowing any area of the story. And don't worry about it, pal. I do the same. So sometimes it's just a bit of self-reflection. Now we've got common grounds and interests. Would you like to actually have a bit? Right. Mine's a self-defense mechanism. That's what it is. You know, if I expect the worst from people, when I receive it, I don't give a shit anyway. I expected it from when I first met you, so thanks for not disapproving me, and I'll be on my merry fucking way. I'll see you in a bit. It's nice knowing you, but, you know, shit. Everyone's lifespan runs out. Doesn't mean it has to run out within the time and all. Right, you know what I mean? Just fucking au revoir. Like, I don't care whether people come and go out of my life anyway. I've not had an area to get. Never really had my mum and dad in my life. It was there, but it wasn't in my life, you know what I mean? Difference. And trust me, as a child, that shit was normal. But do you know when I had my own child? And when I was seeing other people interact with their children as growing up, and I realised that I didn't have that life. I just accepted and got on with it. And I didn't mind, actually. I really didn't. Because that life actually worked out really well for me. Yeah, I was a child that wanted to be left alone. I can deal with that fucking family life. You know what I mean? What do you want for dinner? I don't know. I can't make decisions. Well, you know, dinner's done. Oh, fucking hell. Sunday dinner? Thanks, mate. You know, dinner's done. Macaroni and cheese again. We ain't got much money. Ah, food's food. You know, dinner's done. Stew. Oh, I can't beat a bit of beef stew, though, Dad. Problem is, I know I didn't make it yesterday. Yeah, you already know. Didn't make it yesterday. Sacrilege. Alright, well, don't eat it all, because we need some of that tomorrow. I know, Dad. Still have about 2 to 3 bowls, though. And about probably more than half a loaf of bread, to be honest. Dad always used to get me a loaf of bread when he made that anyway, because I used to go through it with them 2 days. See? I remember all the good things. The problem is, at the minute, I'm starting to care about myself, so I'm starting to recognise everything, so I'm going through all the fucking harmful, hateful bullshit at the beginning. And no, it's not about brushing this off, people. You gotta deal with it, man. You can't brush it off. You can't forget about it, and you can't forget your feelings. Because when you do, that's when you act impulsively. That's when you do stupid shit. All been there at some point. It's just some of us act upon it. Some of us act upon that, and some of us don't. Yeah? And you see, those that don't, oh, they're the true broken ones, they are, mate. Yeah, why? Because they thought of every reason not to. And it's a lot harder to find reasons not to than it is to. Trust me. Right? You look at someone that you want to kill. I bet you can think of a million reasons why you want to do it. But now you try and think of reasons why you don't. Tell me which one's easier. Tell me. Alright. Which goes to show how far humanity will always focus on negativity. And trust me, I'm part of this species, so I'm in the same fucking boat. So unfortunately, if this boat keeps getting any more holes in, we're all going to drown. And you've already seen the floods, then the next thing that's next is fire to cleanse the earth, mate. So, and you've already seen the temperature of the sun and what's going off. You got the floods, they're cleaning the streets, cleaning everything. And the next will be the intense heat of the sun. It's going to irradiate everything and burn it from the inside outwards. Which is why when you feel warm out in the sun, you actually feel the heat from the inside and not the out. And also just another reason, also your blood temperature on the inside could be cooler than what it is on the outside, so that's probably another reason why you feel it more. Weirdly, believe it or not, the best way to cool yourself down in the summer is to have a cup of tea because you'll warm your blood temperature up so it become neutral to the outside. And in winter, you're actually better off to have an ice block to cool your blood temperature down because once again, it comes neutral to the outside. 9 times out of 10, the reason why you actually feel the temperature difference is due to the fact is the temperature on the outside is either greater or lesser than the in. So right now I feel cold because, you know, my blood temperature is warmer on the inside than what it is on the outside. So to prevent the cold air from touching my skin that's on the outside, I'm going to put a dressing gown on until I overeat and then take it off and then continue the same rinse and repeat cycle. Did we do everything here? Because I just gabbing. No. Okay, we need to find an artifact, a raven, and buried treasure. Okay. Right, buried treasure found. Move, bitch. Get out the way. Guessing that's buried treasure. Yeah. So basically, all I've done, I ain't gonna lie, majority of my depression is look at humanity. Because, trust me, I picked the living shit out of myself, mate. And I came here because, well, I was told that we can't keep the machine running because we lack the funding. That's what I was told. Right? And I probably had the wrong nurse with the wrong communication skills. I also had no diagnosis at that time with my Asperger's, so I doubt they would have spoke to me on an actual intelligent level. Also, the words that they say all the time, mate, I can't actually understand. So, like, the first time I was like, how do your bowels work? Excuse me? I looked at my dad. Are you shitting alright? Oh, yeah. Says I'm aware. I mean, who keeps track of that shit? Like, literally. You know, right? Who? Nobody. How would you know? I just look behind and just go, wow, look at that shit. Mate, unless a tear comes to my eye, mate, I'm not looking behind. I can tell you that now. If there's a tear there, mate, I'm going to feel like, I'm going to look around and feel what, like, mate, why do I feel like I've been raped? Right, that's what I'm going to feel like. Right, how do I get angle on that one? I don't get how I'm meant to get behind that and get that. This was the only idea I had, and now it's gone. But that's the only time I'm looking behind, mate, I can tell you that now. If it brings a tear to the eye, I'm curious.
Just look at that.